Welcome to Ashley's Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make something super simple, minimal ingredients, sits better on your stomach. Today we're going to make fancy chicken fingers. It's chicken fingers with a whole grain breaded crust. So today what we need oats, we need a whole grain cereal, we need 2 eggs, garlic powder, onion powder, parsley, salt, pepper, paprika, oil spray. We need our chicken, some things to measure. I have a food thermometer. We need about 4 or 5 plates, bowls, a cutting board, and a knife. And I also have a blender, and behind this is an air fryer. The first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna set up our 3 bowls. So the first thing I went ahead and did is I measured out a cup of our oats and I blended them to make our oat flour. The second bowl is gonna have a cup of our cereal, and we're gonna crush it up. Crushed cereal, so now they're not in any big chunks. And the last bowl has our 2 eggs, and we're just gonna whisk it up. And if you wanted to just have egg whites instead of all parts of the egg, you could just do your egg whites. It's gonna turn out the same way. Okay, so now we have our 3 bowls set up. Crushed cereal, our blended oats to make our oat flour, and whisked together the 2 eggs. And now we're just going to add seasonings to our crushed cereal. We're going to take 1 to 2 teaspoons of each of our seasonings, except for the salt and our pepper. So we have paprika, we have garlic powder, we have our onion powder, parsley, then you have some salt. Now all our 3 bowls are assembled. We have our blended oats to make our oat flour, our crushed whole grain cereal with about 1 to 2 teaspoons of each seasoning except for the salt and pepper, and then we have our 2 large eggs whisked together. Now we're going to cut our chicken into chicken tenders. So for safety, anything that touches this cutting board with the chicken cannot touch anything else that we have. This is how we get sick. This is how we spread the bacteria and everything from raw chicken. So after I'm done using this cutting board, touching the raw chicken and the knife, it needs to go. I need to wash my hands before touching everything else as well, so that way anybody who eats the food, including me, doesn't get sick. Okay, so I have a bowl that I'm gonna put my chicken strips in after I'm done cutting them. I got a little bit over a pound of chicken here. I'm just gonna cut each one into about 3 strips and place them into the bowl. So when first getting into my journey of eating healthy food and wanting to become a registered dietitian, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't giving up any of my favorite foods in order to do this. Because you don't have to. You can make any of your comfort foods into something a little healthier with a few swaps, and most people think healthy means boring. And I'm here to prove healthy does not mean boring or flavorless. So now that I'm done touching my raw chicken, I'm gonna put this into my sink. I'm gonna clean that off, wash my hands, and I'm gonna use a spray to clean off the counter. The last thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean my counter with an all-purpose spray. All right, our counter is clean. Our hands have not touched the raw chicken yet. I have another plate so that after we assemble our chicken fingers, I'm going to put this onto this plate. So first we're gonna dip it in oat flour. Then I'm going to dip it into our beaten eggs. Then I'm gonna dip it in our cereal. And that's how it's gonna go. All right, now that we have assembled all of our chicken fingers, we can't reuse any of these bowls. You can't save the flour for another day. You can't save the eggs. None of that. All of it has to go because it touched raw chicken. And we also need to rewash our hands again and start the next step. So you can see all the seasoning on them. You can see the cereal. That's gonna add the crunch and they're gonna be flavorful. So now I'm just going to preheat my air fryer. This could have been done at the beginning, but I didn't want to talk over it the whole time while I explained how to assemble and make our fancy chicken fingers. So while that preheats, I'll tell you what I have now on my counter. So after I put the chicken finger and all the chicken fingers into the air fryer, I have some spray. The spray is for spraying a light coat onto the chicken fingers, which is going to actually help a little bit more of the crunch. I'm not going to spray for a long time to add extra unnecessary fat or anything. It's just a light coat. The other thing I have is a food thermometer, so I can check when it's done poking it, making sure that it's at the right temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit, so that nobody's eating raw chicken and getting sick from that. I have a fork to help take them out, and then I have another plate. The plate is going to be used for when I take them out. I'm putting the cooked chicken fingers onto a clean plate and not back on the ones where the raw chicken is touching. Okay, so it is done preheating. I'm going to take each chicken and I'm going to lay them in a single layer into the air fryer and cook for about 10 to 15 minutes. So while that is cooking and we're waiting for it to be done and finished, I'm going to tell you about the benefits of why this is a better and healthier way of having chicken fingers at home rather than going and buying them from a store or going to a restaurant or a fast food place. So the benefits of cooking at home rather than going to buy them at a store. When you go to buy them at a store and you look at the ingredients, you have a laundry list of ingredients. When you read the ingredients, not all of the ingredients you can read, pronounce, or even recognize. They're ingredients that we would never have in our home, and we don't know what they are. When we assemble this at home, we know everything that is going into our body. We know every amount that's put in, and we recognize all the ingredients. And when we go to a restaurant, we don't necessarily know how much they're using or what's exactly in it. At the restaurant, they're probably deep frying it. So it's being deep fried in a whole bunch of trans fats, and it's harder to digest in our body and not necessarily the healthiest thing or something we want a lot of for our health. The other thing is our whole grain cereal. Our whole grain cereal is what's fun about this meal because we have something that adds the crunch to it, right? That crunchy texture is going to be fun to eat, fun to consume, and it's healthier for us because it's a whole grain cereal, so not lots of ingredients go into this box, and it's giving us more fiber. Same thing with our oat flour. Our oat flour that is blended up adds fiber, adds protein. It has more nutrients that is in oats because we're not using a refined, processed white flour. That doesn't really do anything for our body. Not a lot of nutrients. It's processed. We don't really know what else they're doing to it. But the oat flour is just pure goodness, health to our body. I can't remember if I said it was gluten-free, but it's gluten-free if other people wanted to eat it or try to make stuff with it. So yeah, not a lot of additives, processed ingredients that we just used here. We're not eating greasy food because of that oil. This is gonna be easy to digest and not make our stomach hurt. It's healthy with all the ingredients, and it's still satisfying. We're having flavor and we're having crunch. So that's what it's about. Eating healthy is about making it fun to eat and still flavorful. You also can make this a very versatile dish. So you can have chicken fingers plain. You have them plain Jane as soon as they come out, You can let them cool down and you can eat them. Or you can add sauce. Your favorite sauce that you like. You can make a homemade sauce. You can warm the sauce up in a pan and coat them in the sauce. You can put them into like a bowl. So the bowl can have veggies, it could have rice, and you can eat it all together that way. You could have them as sliders. So you can make like a normal slider, just put a bun and the chicken. You can add anything else that you like on your slider to that as well. You can also put them in a tortilla. Now, this is a kid-approved meal because I made this for my siblings, and they like them. They turned out really good. So with the tortilla, I believe I made them like a buffalo ranch, like chicken tortilla thing. It just had like lettuce in it and some other few things, and I just put ranch and buffalo, and yeah, so it's kid approved. The other thing you can do is you can add different seasonings. You can add it to a salad, if that's what you're feeling, like at Chick-fil-A. So at Chick-fil-A or even Roosters, they have that fried chicken salad. Same idea, but we got it at home. We got Chick-fil-A and we got Roosters at home. Okay, these are our chicken fingers. They're done. I checked the temperature by sticking the thermometer in it, making it sure that it said 165 degrees or above. Okay, let's try them. All right. Woo! They're flavorful. They have a crunch to them. I will say that I forgot to spray them when I put them into the pan. But they're still crunchy. Still tastes like a chicken finger. Try it with some sauce. Still juicy. They taste like I went out to eat and I bought them. So I hope this encouraged you to make your favorite foods at home. It just takes a few simple swaps. Making things at home is going to support your long-term health. Not having overly added fat into the food and taking that out is going to be supporting my long-term health. It's also going to keep me energized, not overly stuffed. So I hope you try this at home and make it your own. Thanks for watching.